template. Some template will remain as it is and they will glow on the bed. Then sometimes people, students feel very happy if they are having this thick band. Looking thick band, students always get tempted, but these thick bands always create problem in your sequencing reaction. So, and in these cases, usually if you are having such type of patterns, not uniform one, that means your pipetting is definitely not good. Your handling, pipetting handling and solution handling is not good. Moreover, high DNA concentration is essentially there, that I was telling you, he haven't recognized the pressure on the pipette while dispensing it and aspirating it. So standardized DNA concentration here, high primer concentration can also be the same reason. So primer dilution should be up to 10 picomole. Don't feel happy looking at there is a primer and now I am putting in the reaction. Don't feel happy. Then Taq polymerase also can do this. So decrease the Taq polymerase here. If extra Taq polymerase give opportunity to have more binding, so that can be avoided here. Then fifth case is a primer dimers. You see, these are although not big primer dimers, but in some cases you are differentiating between primer dimer and template is very difficult, like PCR product. Once I got one sample from one of the laboratory and they said all primer dimers only, but they were thinking there was no band, only primer dimers, and they were considering this is a PCR product. And actually he was not believing on me. I said no, this is not a PCR product, this is a primer dimer. And now we are doing the same, like it happens. So if you are having this case, this is also not good story, because this can hamper your quality of sequence. In this case, you can do one high primer concentration, very high primer concentration is there. So dilute the primers. And dilute means you can, instead of taking primer and diluting it, you can increase little bit water in the reaction. So everything will be diluted. And then sixth case is like trading, such type of poor presentation you will have. Very commonly apparent in most of the lab. So these templates are of no use in downstream applications. In this case, usually annealing temperature need to increase or decrease sometimes. Then usually increasing is essential. Then 10x PCR buffer concentration is not optimal. So what you will do with PCR buffer, because you are using ready PCR buffer. Most of the PCR kits you are getting ready. But here also you need to standardize it little bit. Then MgCl2 concentration also you need to lower. Standardize means lower. You need to lower the MgCl2 concentration. MgCl2 plays very important role in PCR reaction. So one should be very careful with that. And once you standardize, you use it. And then finally, this is very popular step of everyone's life in lab. You will feel very blank. This gel can be reused. If you are having this, means you are saving one factor. You are saving your gel. So this is very commonly happening, and in this case, you can have DNA quality like decrease the template DNA, very high DNA or maybe very less DNA. Then primers are not specific, redesign them definitely. They don't have to do anything with your template. Then PCR program is not properly played, like I was telling you. The PCR program is not good, so it will do this problem. Then verify PCR machine programs also in that case. Then PCR machine is not working properly. Once we got one new machine, company sent us. They said you test, you keep with you test it. If you like, then we'll offer a special price for you. And that machine was having at one step that was stopping. Properly it was starting, but after that, which protocol it was stopping? Agile, no, machine was not. The head of the PCR, that was not heating, and machine was not showing anything. So this can happen with machines also. Machines are not like these are not everyday machines are not perfect like us. They can have problems. So be considering that things. Then verify PCR machine temperatures also. PCR reagents are of proper quality and not denatured. Always use high grade PCR. products. Like in my laboratory, I am not advocating, but I am using usually Invitrogen, Takara, then Taq polymer. Yeah. So some of the good quality things you can use, but affordability also depends on everyone, where you are having that supplier there or not. But make a good decision to have good machines and good reagents also. These are the only typical problems associated with your PCR reactions. And these problems you will not find anywhere discussed like this. Not single book you will see such type of troubleshoot about PCRs. That's why yesterday I was insisting everyone to be for this lecture. Even if you spend your 10 years in laboratory also, just casual, you will never learn these things. And even by doing PhD also, a lot of time we don't understand if somebody is coming for asking you what problem is there. So just follow this troubleshoot. So this will help you a lot. We have given one nice calculation and everything in your booklet about the PCR. So please don't keep that book as it is. Use that book for referring in laboratory. Keep it as a laboratory resource book. Biggest problem associated with most of the biotech lab, although we used to put the Sambrook in lab, but how many of us read it? And unfortunately Sambrook they made a mess. Like in first volume they will mention like refer third volume page number 110. And 110 you are reaching, they will say refer annexure 6 and follow annexure first in volume 1. So that is a tiring thing, but keep patience in referring that, because that is that is like a Bible of your laboratory, Sambrook. You need not do and go and purchase any kit, because Sambrook is having all recipes associated with everything. Just you need to patience in reading that book. If he is saying like go first volume or second volume, so do that and take a print of these places and make one like 3 page, 3-4 page, whatever troubleshoot you will get, read it carefully. So Sambrook, lot of laboratory Sambrooks remain fresh, like newly bought. So Sambrook should be torn out then it is of use. Student will learn lot of from Sambrook. And in kits, or specifically students are having less opportunities to learn about basics of biotech using kits. So do all these things and learn it, understand principles. Now I will switch over to the sequencing visualization and analysis side. Just 3-4 slides left. Any question if anyone is having or anyone faced extra question than this, please share with me. I will add to my presentation in next lectures. Any difficulty more than what I was showing you, anybody appeared in your experience in your lab? Can anyone share with me?
Sir,
yes.
I have one question.
Yeah.
During the washing of the DNA, you have mentioned that alcohol, with the alcohol wash. So, can you mention the temperature, like the centrifugation can be cooled?
No, centrifugation should be refrigerated only, because when you centrifuge at high speed, lot of friction will happen, and if you put your temperature 0, like if you don't have a centrifuge machine with the refrigeration, so your sample may warm up more than 50 degrees, and it will cut down your all DNA. Means cut down means it will disintegrate your DNA. So in all this protocol, yeah, good question, I forget to tell you. Always use refrigerated centrifuge only whenever you are spinning more than like 5 to 6,000 RPM. Always use. When you are doing it like 15,000, 13,000, 14,000, your temperature setting should be 10 degree, minus 10 degree. Otherwise, even putting minus 0 degree or something, no, even it will bring it to room temperature, more than room temperature. So always use give sufficient time to your machine to cool down also. Some machines don't have automatic things, like without, they start instantaneously, simultaneously start cooling also. Nowadays microprocessor machine, they first put their machine to temperature, set temperature, then start. And make a habit, you can, if you are having using multiple spinning heads, rotor heads in your machine, try to keep them into freeze. It will reduce your time. And again, these rotor heads need to be washed at least once in a month. because lot of things will settle down. It is having big force. It is rotating, no. So whatever fall down, it will tightly stick up with the bottoms. Time may appear, your machine show imbalancing. We lost one machine in that way. It was imbalanced and never been then repaired by company. So many imported machines we are using in biotech lab. Repair is better than repair is always worse than buying a new machine. So don't try to respect your machines in biotech lab. Don't play with that. Don't stop rotor by your hand. Very bad practice. If your machine is not automated, no student want to stop by hand, and you will do lot of damages to your machine. Sometime I will tell you, in my laboratory one of our machine was down and I was in US. So the whole scenario was lost for almost 3 months, because from there I was helpless. Anyhow I pushed the purchase and all that, but it took 3 months time to get a new machine in lab. Specifically when you are using a bucket rotors, so be careful about bucket rotors, because these machines are high speed machines and create huge force. So don't play with such machines, and very respectfully you should follow the protocols in such high speed machines. Otherwise you can damage very quickly these machines. So I will switch on to sequence visualization and analysis. You will have a rigorous training on this today. So most of the times sequencing companies supply only FASTA file formats. There are a lot of companies you will see in Delhi, you will see in Bangalore, even in Ahmedabad, Mumbai, some companies in Pune, and I don't know about Kolkata. So and even Korea also, people are sending samples, but they are least bothered about what you want to do. So sequence quality is a big issue associated with most of the private companies, because they are finally making money, not to help you. They never be a charitable to you. So prefer laboratories usually from government sector. University laboratories or university facilities should always be preferred for sequencing, because I will tell you, they don't have concern about money, but quality can be, you can get always good quality. QC value of private companies should never be 30. Never be 30. So they want to make in one reaction, they want to make 3 reactions. Otherwise they will never survive. So you are sending 10 samples, you will get sequences for 3. It happens very commonly. Sometimes one side will be good, another side will be very bad, and finally it reflects on your data, and such bad data will never give you a good publication. I will tell you, there are big players in biotechnology and in barcoding specifically, very big players around the world. So whenever you are submitting your manuscript, that will go to somebody who is very expert in that. When you look at your assembly, because nowadays all reviewers, they are asking your extra information. In that they ask your sequence assembly. And when you look at sequence assembly, you will straight away throw your paper out. He will tell like sequencing protocols are completely wrongly followed and your sequence quality of no use. So it is a scrap. You can't help anymore, and then you need to satisfy yourself in publishing in local journal in India somewhere, sending either Africa here or there. So that should not happen, because you are equally wasting the money, equally investing money what good laboratories are doing. Even sometimes beginner laboratories are spending twice to established laboratories, and results are 4 to 5 times inferior to ordinary laboratories. So that ratio one should always consider in mind. So this is one thing, and second thing, now this is like information technology. You can get lot of information on the internet. Who are working on similar projects? At one click you can see. So consult them generously. What is wrong in consulting people who are already working on your projects? So because you can see what project being sanctioned, who is working on what. It is available everywhere. So be open and consult people and talk them. I am having problem here. So can you help me? Like in one of our project in BioWatch, we are having severe issues. We consulted several people, and finally little bit we could able to do that. That can be done. Then visualize sequence quality. You need usually these are the programs we need. So these programs include SequenceScape, Sequencer, Codon Code, Sequencer, Aligner, lot of programs. But I will not refer any program. Sequencer is very bad. You can play anything there. Students usually don't allow your students to work with sequencer. Sequencer is like open access, open platform. You can do any change in that. Lot of students, you are getting a sequence 100 base pairs. He can extend it up to 250 base pairs using sequencer. Because poor base call also it will recognize and it will give whatever you want. So student just need to click on and pull it, and then he will take this as a good sequence. So don't use that program. Sequencescape is good program, but it is very robust. Means very difficult to handle. You need to be very perfect in this. Very heavy and expensive also. Usually they sell this with a sequencer. Sequence Kodan is a good program. Aligner also don't go with sequence aligner. There also same issues are associated. Your students should have less opportunity to play with the original sequences. And there must be good protocols and there must be track of what anyone did with your sequence that should reflect on the final assignment. No sequence is ready to use format. Sequence correction and alignment essentially. Like no machine in the world will give a good sequence. Even NGS also they are not ready to use sequences. You need to go and annotate them. You need to have manual corrections to any type of sequence. QA value 25 and putting it very low because a lot of laboratories do not have sequencing facility. So they should not fight with their facilitators. That's why I am putting it 25. Because they will give around 20 to 25. So that's why I am putting, but 25 is not a good quality sequence. You can use a more one. Then insist for .pasta, .media and PSD files. If you are sequencing on other old sequencers, like earlier days there were some sequencers, so there you will have different denominations, so that you can go and upload and verify, because they don't have same things. DNA barcoding projects you need to have that. This is typically a electroprogram of a sequence. On your sequencer machine only you can see it. Other places you can't see it. Only your sequencing they can show you. So if you are having such type of sequences, no, this is wonderful, this is good, this is good. This is little bit you are having high salt here. This blobbing is here, no, this is due to high salt concentration. And usually these are also good quality sequences, but here quality is going down. When you are having reaching to 600, 550 above. So, here what you did in your first steps, like your field work or your DNA isolation and PCR, everything reflects here. And then you don't have opportunity to go back and correct anything back. That's why I am warning you always about your first step, like good sample preparation and preservation, good protocol for DNA isolation, and then good PCR. If you don't do that, here you will have n number of problems, and that can never be resolved back, and by the time you would have spent more than 2,000 to 3,000 per sample, because you incur your cost of your salary, your supervisor's salary, your consumables in the lab, your fieldwork cost, everything. If you add to that, one sequence is not less than 3,000 rupees. So how much you are wasting, imagine. If somebody asks you to pay this cost from your pocket, then what will be your condition? You think, and then play with your samples in your laboratory. Then typically like QC value and electrophorograms, you can have such type of. Now I think this is not of interest everyone, just to have your extra add to your knowledge I am showing you. In your sequencing sometimes you will get like N. So here when you are having this N, that means you are having lot of salt concentration in your PCR, or maybe you are having like lot of dimers, or maybe your template quality is so poor in PCR what you use for sequencing. Then some cases you don't have anything, and some cases you will get. This is typically associated with the high salt concentration in PCR reaction. So when you ignore the 6 cases I was telling you, and forcefully set sample for sequencing, you are getting these 3-4 windows in this way. And the company will charge for this, because they waste their chemicals. They will not spare you. Sometimes you will get like this. This is nothing. Like, this is very poor. So your template, non-specific amplification happen. So that small template is there, and it could able to read up to that and finish. Some cases you don't have, some cases you will get this. Like this is typically very high salt concentration present in your fisher, and that is coming from where? The DNA isolation. So that cannot be eliminated. If you are getting such type of thing, no, it is good. But here also you are having, you see, is very poor in between. These red dots is the worst thing. This sequence is of no use. And in this case, your the electrophotogram is like this. This base wall is very poor. No use. Sometimes companies may have typically such type of sequences. Typically, a private company is using this sequence. And then you don't know what to do with that, and then you feel happy I am having something. You tell your colleagues that I sequence this much numbers. Feel very proud on that. But if you send it to some technical one, you will say this is rubbish. No, you haven't did anything. You don't know anything about this, and you wasted whole money. So this happens. And this is like a salt concentration I am telling you. If you are having such type of sequence, no, feel good. You are good biotechnologist. You did a wonderful job. Although it is not fully wonderful, but it is wonderful. And your electrophotogram will reflect in this way. Perfect, peaks, no overlapping. And here no laboratory, no expert in the world will object on and question on your work. And your electrophotogram of original electrophotogram image will be like this. Perfect. So insist for such type of things. Here QC value is good. You can see somewhere QC value might have mentioned here. So this is a good condition. So these are like when you are assessment, you can be a master of your own, you can be your own guide. What sequencing kind, whether sequencing company cheating you or perfectly doing, you can judge based on this. But for that, unfortunately, you require a original software, which is costing more than 12 lakh rupees to see all this. But there are some softwares are also available. Even your quote-unquote aligner will give opportunity. It will not show you the third window, but it will show 2 windows. That is good. Then more important tips I will suggest with you, and then we will wind up with this long lecture. So usually improper handling of pipettes during dispensing. I was telling you some hefty guys, they can't sense. So such people should be avoided in PCR reactions. Good way. Don't make them aware like it is a problem. I will tell you, when initially I joined my department, and I was having one 786 computer. So one of my colleague, he came to me and he was telling me, please make me aware how to use computers. I said, sit here, I will tell you something. Then that guy was putting, he was started typing. So when he was putting finger, at least the key was running for at least 20-25 letters. He was not able to, lift his finger. And after that, like almost 10 years gone, now he could able to do typing, but whenever he is putting key, he is going up to 6 letters now. So, some guys, basically we do have some problems. So the lifting hand, it requires that much time for him. So in pipetting, it happens in this way only. So some guys are very perfect. I was having one girl, she was working so nice. She did a PhD with me. So she was very perfect in pipetting and all that. Nicely she was working. And some guys, repeatedly, even some guys can improve a great extent with these techniques. But don't consider these are inferior things. Even you can make a practice while doing gel loadings also. Gel loading is a good guide to perfect. Then non-calibrated low quality pipettes, Biovera and all these, lot of companies coming up, popping up. Don't get tempted with them. They will give 3 pipettes in the cost of 1. But you will spend 10 times than what you save. And then low quality reagents also big source. Absent-minded reaction preparations like chit-chatting, sometimes looking at Facebook, doing this. Sometimes a lot of trialing might have happened, and then shouting on someone, you start pipetting, so you will put your whole anger on the pipette. So these things should be avoided. So usually we recommend students to start pipetting PCR reactions early morning. When you come to laboratory, do it. So you are fresh enough, no hunger. In the afternoon, what happens? Your lunchtime. So rush is too much because other people start eating. So quickly you want to finish, and mistakes will happen. Evening is same thing happen. Evening also. He left, she left, and then you feel, oh, I should go. And then rushly you will do something, then tell someone that my PCR is there, you just switch off machine. He never do. And PCR machine will put machine 4 degree for whole night. So it will be the biggest source of spoilage. If PCR machine downs, once downs, so no PCR machine can be repaired not less than 1.5 lakh rupees. I will tell you, this is the biggest commercial policy of all PCR companies. 1.5 lakh rupees minimum I am telling you. Lot of machines, I got 2 machines down in my laboratory. Every machine they are charging almost 2.5 lakh rupees AVN. They are not ready to bring down cost, and I don't have alternative because in market you can't get anything. In these machines repairs means, if motherboard gone, they will take whole motherboard off and they will put new in. You don't have any part you can't get in the market. So don't put your machine whole night cooling down your samples now unnecessarily. Improper selection of PCR programs also usually happens. In rush you drop down and you put something else, and I don't know why students feel so hurry in selecting PCR program. They do so rush in selecting PCR programs and they never go and evaluate, edit back whether I properly did it or not. Then few tips I will tell about the managing your samples in bulk. So you are having so many smart, plasticwares in the laboratory. Very nicely you can manage your data, your samples, mismanagement can be handled. Such type of different plates you can get. Sometimes we use such plates for sampling the samples, storing the samples. These are not good plates because they rest on the beds. These curtain plates could be good for putting your samples on sticks. They will not damage each other. Then without skirted, with skirted, half skirted, like this half skirted without skirted can be used for PCR. Sometimes without knowing, so you get tempted, lot of money you are having in your project and you buy whatever you feel. And then without knowing, you go on purchasing. Sometimes these sellers are very smart enough. So they will admire like you are like Einstein. And you feel very happy, and then whatever product he is having, lot of time they will say your laboratory is wonderful. Your laboratory in the state now really doing good. We are having very high value for your this, that. They don't have any value for you. They want to sell products. So don't buy junk material. You just judge your needs and go with that. Then you are having smart things like non-autoclavable films you can get. Autoclavable films you are having. Then these such type of mats you can use. Multiple use you can do with these mats. And these are the autoclavable films. Instead of use and throw film, one box of 100 sealers cost 3,700. And in spite of that, this type of box is costing almost 7,700 to 9,000 rupees. But these are multiple use. So make intelligent decision. Multiple use means you can use 100 times this one. And for 2,000 or 3,700 you are using 100 sealers for 100 times. This you can use one sealer for 100 times. So little bit investment intelligently, if you do it can last for long period. And this will give good results also, security. Then you are having like this PCR, like don't use individual tubes, use strips. And that should be good quality. So many times it happens like due to temperature, tubes burst in between. So if you are having high quality, 0.2, 0.8, whatever, depending on your need. 1.7 microtubes also good quality is very essential. Here don't consider to save money on this. Because if spillage happen, it will spoil everything. 0.2 microliters tube separate also you can get. So for preparing master mix you can have like this. For preparing PCR you can use this type of tubes. For even you are using multi-channel pipettes, so intelligently you can use this one. When you are using multi-channel pipette, very careful in selecting multi-channel pipettes. Always think that they may have a sealing ring at the bottom. Means where you are putting your pipettes tips in, there should be a ring on that, so that it will seal immediately. Otherwise, many pipetters center 3-4 tips, they will not seal properly, and you will not get a proper one. And only experienced person should use your multi-channel pipette. Automated multi-channel pipette should never be used by the newcomers. Automated means mechanized, motorized. So that should always never be used by you, because it is having step down and steppers, and you will lose everything. So for that purpose, if you are sufficiently experienced, then do with the steppers, motorized steppers. Otherwise